So often we approach faith like it's some big test, right? We're all hunting for the right answers. But what if the spiritual breakthrough you're searching for isn't actually found in an answer at all? What if it's hidden deep inside a question that Jesus never even intended to answer directly? So let me ask you, does this feel familiar? You're reading, you're praying, you're trying to connect, but you just hit a wall. It feels like you're going in circles, asking the same things over and over again, just hoping for a different result. And look, that's totally natural. We're wired to crave clarity and certainty. We hunt for that one piece of information, that single perfect answer that we think will solve the whole puzzle and make everything finally click. But what if that feeling of being stuck comes from looking for the wrong thing entirely? What if the breakthrough isn't in an answer, but in a question? What if Jesus was actually way less interested in giving us neat, tidy solutions and way more interested in the questions we bring to him? When we really look at the Gospels, a fascinating and, let's be honest, maybe a little frustrating pattern starts to emerge in Jesus' method. It's definitely not what you'd expect from someone who supposedly has all the answers. So get this. Across the four Gospels, people brought Jesus over 180 distinct questions, and they were about everything: theology, politics, personal problems, you name it. A constant stream of questions was always coming his way. But look at the contrast here. Of all those questions, more than 180 of them, how many did he answer directly? A tiny fraction. He almost always responded with a story, a challenge, or, and this was his favorite, another question. This wasn't an accident. It was a method. It was on purpose. So you have to ask, why? Why would he do that? Why avoid giving the straightforward answers that people were so desperate for? Because his goal was something much, much deeper than just transferring information. Here is the absolute core of his strategy. Information, well, that fills your mind. It gives you facts and data. But tension, that discomfort of an unanswered question, that does something else entirely. It forces you to look inward. It exposes what's really going on inside your heart. And this fits perfectly within the cultural context of the time. You see, in ancient Hebrew thought, a question wasn't a dead end. It wasn't just a simple request for a fact. No, a question was an invitation. It was a tool specifically designed to unlock a deeper conversation, not to end it. And this leads us to the ultimate purpose of his questions. They weren't just clever teaching tools, they were something far more powerful than that. Let's call them revelation triggers. A revelation trigger is a question that's basically engineered to bypass your intellect and get straight to your core beliefs. It's not about what you know in your head, it's about what you trust in your gut. It forces you to confront what you actually believe deep down. I mean, think of the ultimate example. When Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" He's not looking for the Sunday school answer. Come on, he already knows all the rumors. What he wants to know is what they truly believe. He's triggering a moment of personal declaration, forcing them to put a stake in the ground. So how does this apply to us right here, right now? Well, we can use the exact same principle. If you feel stuck, maybe it's time to stop searching so hard for answers and instead start listening for the right question. Here's a pretty simple path forward. First, just pause. Stop rushing past the uncomfortable parts of Scripture or your life just to find a quick, easy answer. Second, ask a totally new question. In this situation, what is Jesus asking me? And third, just be open to the idea that your true breakthrough is waiting right there, inside that very question. The progress you've been looking for might be all wrapped up in a difficult, unanswered question that's been lingering in the back of your mind. So, what is the one question you've been avoiding? Because confronting it just might be the first step toward the transformation you've been seeking all along.